Sitting in a Honda S2000, which is Honda's sports car. It is a true sports car. It's meant to go fast. It's meant to be fun around corners, so it's a sports car. That being said, it should have a shorter ratio steering. So we're full left lock to lock. 1, 2, 2.5. So this car has a 2.5 lock to lock steering ratio, which is almost exact same ratio as an Audi R8 V10. It also is a 2.5 lock to lock. So both those cars being sports cars, this helps with driving aggressively, performance-wise on the track. You actually have good steering, whereas you're putting an input in, it's not like you're going hand over hand or anything crazy like that in an S2000 or a sports car. So now I'm staying in front of a Honda Civic, a hatchback, an HX model, which I've been tracking and enjoying, having lots of fun. Where the problems started to come about, and I'm amazed I haven't seen a ton about this, is that this car has a 3.6 lock-to-lock rack, which is a boat, a huge boat. And I was physically getting beaten up by this car on the track. Just felt totally abused. So I went searching, looking for a way to make the steering quicker, or a shorter ratio, as you would say. And yes, there's Quafe, there's an Integra rack, but an Integra rack is still 3.2 lock-to-lock. That's not fast enough when you go look up lock-to-lock numbers on real performance cars. So came up with an idea that I found it on Honda Tech, but in one obscure post. So seeing that Honda Tech post and hearing an obscure reference to a steering quickener and not finding anything, hardly, maybe the post deleted or fell off or so forth, what they're talking about and what they realized is that they're talking about a NASCAR product. This is actually, there's tons of different variations. It's not just this manufacturer, there's tons more. But with the one I went with is a Howled product, and it is a NASCAR steering quickener. And what it basically does is it's geared, and the amount of input the driver puts in, it does 1.5 more. So my rack now went from 3.6 lock to lock to 2.25 lock to lock. It's the same rack, it's the same amount, it's that I don't have to put as much input to get the car to do it for me. So it's taking what I'm inputting and doing it faster for me and quickening up what I'm doing. Basically making less work for me as a driver, my body's less fatigued, and my cornering, I'm not having to do any hand over hand anymore. So you have here the original steering column, one of the original steering columns. You can see I actually cut apart 2 other steering columns. I have one upper, an extra one, which was slightly crooked, so I had to build a second one because you could actually feel it in the steering wheel, the tiny amount of play in this thing. So now mounted underneath my dash in this column, in another column, is this steering quickener. So next I'll show it on the car and you can count how many lock-to-lock turns we have. So now in the car, you can actually see one thing you may or may not notice, depending on how Honda savvy you are, is that this distance right here, my actual steering column, because of the quickener going in underneath the dash, I had to actually drop the steering column. There is no adjustment whatsoever anymore, and it is actually lower to the seat by, I don't know, an inch, half an inch or so forth. So it's fully welded, locked in place. So now, with the steering wheel, full left lock, 1, 2, locked. 2.25 lock to lock. Dramatically changed the driving experience on the racetrack. My input level, instead of on certain turns having to let go of the steering wheel and move around, I am now literally point, shoot, point, shoot. The most I'm doing is about a 90 at Fontana infield. The sweepers, I'm barely moving this steering wheel. More like an S2000 or a traditional sports car, not a commuter car. So this now changes car's total driving dynamic. The next shot we'll see is me in a long sweeper on Fontana, and then right after that, my brother's Honda also in a long sweeper, the same, showing his steering wheel position compared to mine. He has an Integra rack, so he has a quicker rack than I do, but this is way quicker and different steering input because of the steering quickener. If you have any questions, go ahead and email us or call us.